So our second speakers today are Connie and Andrew, and they will be speaking about the trust frequency. Indigenous Cosmology meets quantum science.
Oh, good. This is awesome.
All right.
All right. You guys are great. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Connie Baxter from Marlow, and this is Andrew Cameron Bailey. And I've spent 30 years I've spent 30 years with visionary Native American elders. The answers you get depend upon the questions you ask. And I asked, what are the missing pieces of the paradigm that have humanity out of balance? Why are we not living up to our full potential as loving beings in balance with all of creation? And what came to me was the visionary elders of the Native American people and their cosmology.
So, what we're going to attempt in 10 minutes here is to give you the elevator pitch on the trust frequency. What is the trust frequency? Anybody old enough to remember the 60s?
Yeah. No.
Talk about consciousness. We are talking about not necessarily the megahertz frequency factor. We're talking about the vibration, the good vibes, the high vibes, those vibes that keep us in good health, good spirits, keep our behavior positive. And we're distilling information both from science, specifically quantum science, and from the world of indigenous wisdom.
And your background?
So I started out, I had the great fortune to grow up in South Africa. And I grew up there surrounded by Zulus and monkeys and great white sharks and on. Many stories. And ended up being a chemistry professor. And during the time when I was mostly a professor of organic chemistry, I wanted to study humanity. I realized that my real interest would lay in humanity. And the best way to do that seemed to be social anthropology. So, and in social anthropology, I found myself interested in spirituality. And I got into comparative religion. And in a book in a course on comparative religion, I discovered the cosmology of the Australian Aborigines, which had a profound effect on me for this reason. I supposedly was a college graduate in physics, and supposedly knew something about quantum science. I did not. I didn't know a damn thing. I don't think my professor knew a damn thing. I had to wait for the Australian Aborigines to explain it to me, and they did through their amazing cosmology.
And now we're here with, and now we're here at IONS exploring quantum science. And what we're saying is that quantum science informs the Western paradigm, vastly expanding our understanding of the nature of the universe. Yes, indeed. Allowing us to align with the indigenous worldview and ultimately bring peace on earth. I saw long ago that what was next in the evolution of consciousness of humanity was that we are going to come to understand what the indigenous peoples know about the nature of the universe. So I've been watching this whole process. When What the Bleep came forward, I'm like, okay, because someone had given me the book, The Holographic Universe. And I discovered there that was explaining what Wallace Black Elk had been spending 15 years trying to convey to, he spent his life trying to convey it, but I knew it for 15 years. So when What the Bleep came forward, it's like, okay, it's time. So here we are. And Drew Dellinger brought the indigenous worldview in yesterday, and Jan brought it in to the process. So it's making its way. And we feel that what's coming with this evolutionary leap in consciousness is the intercultural synthesis of all cultures coming together. And we feel that there's been two syntheses in the United States, and we feel the United States is the proving ground of this evolutionary leap of applying it through our social systems. We haven't gotten there yet, but There have been two great syntheses so far in the United States. One is the first 50 years of peace and friendship in Plymouth Plantation, when the Mayflower Pilgrims and the Wampanoag Indians lived in peace and friendship for 50 years. This is shrouded in misconception and misunderstanding. We're actually doing a big project on it right now, because 2020 is coming up. And this interaction gave birth to the American mind and the American spirit and American democracy. And the next synthesis was the, how do I send it back? The Iroquois contribution to the convention, the Constitutional Convention, the Declaration of Independence, and the U.S. Constitution. And here's a little quote from Oren Lyons, an Onondaga leader. In the Iroquois perception, all life is equal, and that includes the birds, animals, things that grow, things that swim. All life is equal in our perception. And then we go to the Hopi prophecy. This, I don't know how many of you are aware of the Hopi prophecy, and this is attributed to the Hopi prophecy. When birds fall from the sky and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come unto the earth from many colors, classes, and creeds, who, by their actions and deeds, shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. Hey, anybody resonate to that?
So now you have that search for who am I? Now you know. I am a warrior of the rainbow. Got it?
Yeah.
That tribe, which is distilled from all the cultures of the past, is what adds up to what we're calling humanity 2.0. Ready for that? The next version. It's what Barbara Marx Hubbard was talking about very specifically yesterday. It is what this entire conference is about, this ongoing quest of humanity to find a higher way of being.
So as you see here, the fully evolved human manifests the best features of all previous cultures. We are part of nature, not above it, aware of the scientific perspective, yet not ruled by it, tuned into a higher reality, yet fully present in the world. A synthesis occurs which brings forth something that has never been on the planet before. That's key, folks. The next evolutionary leap for our species. It's not a direct extrapolation from here to there, as we all are pretty well aware. We're not just going in a direct line. There is a leap. So,
and from science, what can we distill that perhaps explains or supports the indigenous worldview? One of the aspects that emerged about 100 years ago is this idea of quantum entanglement. We are all connected. Everything in this entire universe, or in all the countless millions of universes, is connected intimately in real time to every other thing. This is an extraordinary thing to try to wrap one's mind about, but guess what? The indigenous people have always known that. The Vedic rishis in India 6,000 years ago spoke about precisely that. It is not new, but we are rediscovering it with great joy, I would have to say.
Anyone know Mitakuye? We are all related,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And that's everything and everyone. That's an expression of, and that's, the native people say that always through everything, because that just reminds them that we're all related.
All right. So, you see we do a little dance, my sweetheart and I. Okay, so the other one is, of course, the observer effect, which was a very strange thing. In what it states in a nutshell is that everything is potential, pure potential. Nothing actually exists until an observer, a conscious entity, appears to look at it, see it, observe it, or measure it, at which point it jumps out of the multitude of possibilities into the single thing that is.
Yeah, we're running out of time. We
is
rehearsed this and got it down.
Time
we were
is
talking fast and we were rehearsing it. So,
Remember, time is an illusion.
As you know, I know, so anyway, it's a conscious universe, as you all know, and So here's the indigenous worldview, and here it is. Respect and reverence for all of life, interrelatedness of all things and actions, co-creative power of thought, concern for future aspects of present action. Did you see the observer effect and the entanglement here? Trust in a higher power, incorporation of metaphysical into physical reality, equality of all aspects of life, living in balance, concern for common good, sharing, cooperation. That's the dream of all of humanity, ultimately, but we haven't been able to get there. Why haven't we been able to get there? Because, well, we'll have to run through I don't think we've got time to do this. So here are the Bushmen speaking to you. If you can read fast.
I'm going to, because I'm from South Africa, and these are my friends. And they say this is their message to you at this beautiful IONS conference in Chicago, Illinois in the year 2015. Open your heart to others. When you do so, you will feel our spirit. It will make you dance, and it will make you happy. And then you too will be a Bushman.
And here are the Aborigines. We are all visitors to this time, this place. We are just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love, and then we return home. So, how do we get to this place? We'll give you a quick course. You're going to have to buy our book, because I'm sorry. It's out in the bookstore. But what we're bringing to the table, it's not only a conscious universe, it's a loving universe. Okay? The native people, in this connection to all that is, know that everything has a purpose, that when a deer comes into your path, you've got a problem, an animal comes into your path to give you a clue, to give you advice. How does that happen? The universe is conscious. It loves us. It wants us to learn and grow and move into our true self, which is being spoken about here, our essential self, and all that good stuff. But we don't think you can get there from here, from this paradigm. And IONS is doing an important job in opening us to the conscious universe. And we feel we're bringing something important to the table in that it's not only conscious, it loves us. And why do we see things as not love? Because, well, for one thing, we're saying there is only love. Oops, there's the only love, but where am I going? So, the loving universe. We're saying that there is only love. God is love. Everyone's heard that, right? Well, if God is everywhere and God is love, then the natural result is everything is love. Why we see things as not love is because we don't understand the nature of that love. And the nature of that love is unconditional love, which we're redefining unconditional love to say that it's not, I'm going to be kind to you no matter what you do. I'm going to do what your soul asks me to do for your journey to wholeness. So if that means fire you, be really mean, abandon you, whatever it is that I'm getting as instructions from the divine, from your soul, that's what you're going to have. So don't trust me to be kind and nice. I mean, I say never accuse me of being nice. Because expect me to be honest and respond to my inner promptings. Because I don't know your soul's journey. You know your soul's journey. And if once you understand that everything that happens in your life happens for you, not to you, then it flips everything. The victim-perpetrator model goes out the window, and we understand that we are loved by a conscious, loving universe, that each of us is that conscious, loving universe, and we go forward knowing that everything has happened to take us on our soul's journey to wholeness. Okay, here we go. So, there's only love.
And think of love, here it is. Love is a subatomic phenomenon.
Okay.
It is a quantum phenomenon. It is that which created the universe, sustains the universe. It is all that is love with a capital L.
Would you rather have more information or ask questions?
More information.
Because we've got a little more time if we don't do questions.
Yeah.
We trust you.
Okay. All right. Because we want to just give you one more takeaway. Okay, so we create reality by the power of our consciousness, right? That's what everybody's getting here. Okay, so what we have done is we have put human consciousness, because, you know, there's the primordial consciousness that everybody's talking about. Well, there's human consciousness, and that is, here it is in a sentence, okay? We've put it in 7 A's.
7 words beginning with the letter A, so we all got that far in school, right?
And these are our requests to the conscious loving universe, okay? And there's another way to look at it. They determine our frequency. We haven't been able to get into the frequency piece, which is the trust frequency. Everything is frequency. The different frequencies have different laws, okay? So these 7 A's are our requests to the conscious loving universe, and they determine our frequency. So there's no judgment, there's no nothing, man. It all has to do with vibratory level. Where are we vibrating? What is our reality? So here are the 7 A's. With expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest intuition, with committed action, and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dreams. We can't even imagine what's out there in this other frequency. The laws are completely different. We've been raised in this one to think this is all there is. Well, it's not the only game in town, folks. So what we are doing here actually is upgrading our operating systems, because we base our entire reality from a set of assumptions that we inherited as little people, and it's time to have a look at those, because they came to us unconsciously, and these 7 A's are actually the attributes or the aspects of our human consciousness, which you can think of as our operating system. If we look at them and pay attention to them and upgrade them, and modify them, and make sure that we chose them intelligently versus just taking them on because somebody told us so, we are in a different world. A different frequency, where the magic lives and there isn't even any traffic. Okay, here.
So final word from a great American metaphysical philosopher.
Henry David Thoreau, and we present at the Thoreau Society regularly because he was a mystic, and he spent a lot of time with the native people in Maine and in Minneapolis, actually, and this is a kingpin quote to help us understand what we came to understand from our life here on Earth, and to pull it into this trust frequency, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. New, universal, and more liberal laws will begin to establish themselves around and within him. Or the old laws will be expanded and interpreted in his favor in a more liberal sense, and he will live with the license of a higher order of beings. Okay, kids? Okay, so that's the end. It's a conscious, loving universe. Oh, and here's Dean Rainview. And here's the trust frequency. Trust replaces fear, ease replaces struggle, serenity replaces tension, generosity replaces hoarding, abundance replaces scarcity, unity replaces separation, new systems develop, new relationships replace outmoded ways of being, an understanding of the interconnectedness and sacredness of all things emerges. And it is in this way that true peace and profound freedom will come to prevail on earth. So there.